I know y'all know we need to pray for them people that are in the bathroom that hurt. We're going to be on the side of it, but it don't look like it's hitting us straight up. But I feel for them people. And, you know, well, God is in control, right? You know, and the master going to do what he's going to do. And all we can do is pray and hope, trust, and pray that things turn out all right for you. Yeah. You all that are here, you have, if you don't have, let's see, 1 Timothy 4, verse 4 and verse 16. Some of these notes here I have for you, I call them guides. Just raise your hand and get one of these guides. And keep that with you if you would like. Brother George did give you one. Now tonight we are in 1 Timothy. We're looking at the 4th chapter and we're down to verse number 12, which is a lot in there. And we've been there for a while. We've been studying certain things out of that. And I'm going to read it to you and show you where we are. It says, let no man despise thy youth, be thine an example of believers, in word, conversation, charity, in spirit, in faith, and purity. Now, in spirit is where we are, but we're talking about the attitude. And we're going to talk about that tonight also, this evening. And we're going to go over some things with you. I have on this board here, in case you wasn't here. Matter of fact, where we are, we get this from the book of James, and I want to take a look at it. If you have a Bible with you, go to James, 3rd chapter of the book of James. And I want you to drop down to verse number 17. James, the 3rd chapter, verse 17. You can write it down if you would like to. It says, but the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peace of God. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about peace now. And this is an attitude that we're going to have to deal with, is peace. Now, I have that word up here, peace, and we've been dealing with it concerning people and concerning Christ. I want to make sure that you are able to see this. Now, when we're dealing with people, which is very important when it comes down to peace, don't you know that you and I got to deal with people's plans? And when it comes down to peace, I'm going to tell you right now, everybody don't want peace. There are people who will hurt you because of peace. Now, let's go back over something in Romans, the 12th chapter. And I showed this to you. In verse 18. In verse 18, in Romans, the 12th chapter, verse 18, it says, if it be possible, as much as lies in you, live peaceably with how many people? All. Now, it says, much as lies in you. Now, there are people that you cannot have peace with. Now, you may want peace, but there are certain people who don't want no peace. And because they don't want peace, you got to deal with them. Now, as much as lies in you, that's as much as I can deal with. See, every individual have a line. You got a line, I got a line. I can only, there are certain people, I can only deal with them for so long. Now, you may can deal with them long. But I got to deal with it according to how much peace is in me. See, I got to deal with them according to what I got in me. This is an individual thing. But I tell you what, I got to have some kind of peace in me. Because if I don't have no peace, I can't take nothing. I can't deal with nothing. So as much as lies in you, you know, and it's very important that we do this. Now, I showed you the contrast. There are certain people that you deal with. I'm going to tell you right now, there's some problems. Go to Isaiah. We're going to Isaiah, the 37th chapter. 37th chapter.
Yes, sir.
And I want this person here, I want you to see this person here, because this person here, if you're dealing with this person here, I'm going to tell you right now, you got some problems on your hands. Isaiah 37. Okay?
Yes.
And we're looking at a certain verse that I want. 37, verse 20, verse 21. Let's look at that.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right. I'll tell you what. Just look at mine. Look at verse Isaiah 56, 57. Go to Isaiah 57. Isaiah 57. And I want to look at verse 20 and verse 21. That's what I want. That's what I want. Verse 57. Verse 20 to verse 21.
Yes, sir.
It says, but the wicked are like the troubled sea when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt. There is no peace, said my God, to the what class? Now, there are people, now, here's a person that's wicked, they ain't got no peace. And the Bible says we ought to deal with people much as life within you.
Yes, sir.
Now, you're dealing with a person that ain't got no peace at all. Now, the question you need to have in mind, are they wicked people? They're wicked people. I explained to you some wicked people the last time we were with you. When a person can come into a Bible study and kill everybody in there and leave one, and drive in a car and go somewhere and the police stop him, and the boy ain't worried about nothing. All he wants is a Burger King. Get him a burger, sit down and eat. He ain't got no remorse at all in his heart. Matter of fact, he want to start a race war. Well, that boy is wicked. He ain't got no peace in him.
Yes, sir.
He ain't got no peace in him at all.
Yes, sir.
Now, how in the world you living with somebody like that? You know they like that. You think y'all gonna have peace? Best thing you better avoid that boy. Get away from him if you can, because the young man don't have no peace.
Yes, sir.
See, there are people in this world that don't have no peace at all. Now, brothers and sisters, I done been around some wicked people in my life, you know, and some of you all, you may be still around some wicked people. But the Bible say, the Lord say the wicked don't have no peace.
Yes, sir.
And that's one way you can tell us whether or not you're wicked right now. Don't you have some peace?
Yes,
But
sir.
if you got some peace, you ain't wicked. Ain't that wonderful? That's wonderful. Now, somebody say, well, I wouldn't tell you if I didn't have it. But I don't want you to know I'm a wicked person. But I'm trying to show you that attitude makes a difference. So you're dealing with people,
Yes, sir.
everybody, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to have peace with.
Yes, sir.
Even though you want peace, you ain't going to have it. So don't get that out your mind. Get that out your mind. You're not going to have peace with everybody.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
I'm going to show you something that's very important. Where's our source? We got a source. As a child of God, is what I draw from and you draw from that gives this to us. Now, go to Ephesians, and I'm looking at Christ now. I got the name Christ. I want you to go to Ephesians 2, and we're going to look at verse 16. And then we're going to go to Colossians 3, and I'll give you a verse there, number 15, I believe. All right, now, let's go to Colossians 2, and verse number 16. Just take your time and go over there. When I give you a passage, I'm giving you time. I have to get over here in this old Bible, and I'm going to get over there with you so that we can read it together and see what we have, all right? Ephesians 2 and verse number, I got verse number 14 with me, all right? For he is our peace. We're talking about Christ now. Who has made both one and has broken down the middle wall of partition. Now, he is our peace. Now, we're pointing to God. He is our what? Peace. Now, and I need you to see that because that's very, very important. Now, matter of fact, verse 14, you look at, I have on here verse 16, but it's verse 14. All right. Now, when you say God is our peace, that's our source, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, who do you draw from? You can't be drawing from nobody. You can't be drawing your peace from people. See, people, they might have peace today and they have hell the next day. They may be in peace now, but you might meet them and they might want to grab your throat.
Yes.
Now, where do I draw my peace from? I draw it from God. God is my peace. God is my peace. Which means, brothers and sisters, I don't put nobody before that. Now, what do you mean by that, Brother McKee? Well, I love people, but if a person try to get me, you see, you have a relationship with people. Sometimes people try to get you to do things that are wrong. Okay? And sometimes we as people, we want that relationship to stay peacefully. So we compromise ourselves so they won't be all upset with us. And we try to keep the peace. You can try to do that. Some people try to do it with their kids. Some people try to do it with their mate. Some people try to do it with all other kind of people. Now, when I tell you that God is my source, he's my number one, I don't let anybody come between my peace with God. Amen. Think about what I'm telling you now. I don't let nobody come between my peace with God. It makes no difference who you are. Amen. My peace with God is first.
Yes, sir.
You say, well, why? Because, brothers and sisters, without the peace of God, I ain't got nothing. See, if I rely upon people for my peace, I'm going to lose it very quick. See, people are up and down and all around and you know, all kind of ways. But my peace centers on Christ. On Christ. That's where my peace, my calmness, I get my calmness from God. Now, if I allow you, let's say for instance, if I allow you to get me to go with you to XYZ and get a pint of Smirnoff, and you gonna sit down with your orange juice, gin and juice, right?
Yes.
And I'm gonna sit down. I know I don't do it, but you don't persuade me to do it. I'm doing it with you. You know what I'm doing? I'm losing my peace with God.
Amen. Yes, sir.
And I'm compromising my peace to have with you. See, that's what people do. I use it as an illustration. I want you to understand, I love you, but you ain't going to mess with my peace with God. If I see you messing with my peace with God, I will leave you be. See, I'm going to tell you now, people are going to try you. See, you can have peace with God and the next hour you're in shambles. You messed up. Why? Because you done made a choice to have peace with people. See, a lot of times we don't want to lose certain friends, certain relationships. You know they're going to get angry with you if you don't agree with them. You know they're going to get angry with you if you don't go with what they want you to do. And you want to keep that relationship in a peaceful circumstance where you rather turn your back on God and keep that peace you have with them. I want you to understand something. You're going to have to make a choice. You got to make God first. Amen. As long as I have peace with God, I'm not worried about conflict with you. See, you ain't got no keys to heaven and hell. And you don't have the authority over my soul. But God does. And since God does, my peace with him overrides everybody. You got to understand that. Now I'm going to show you something. Go to Colossians 3 and verse 15. Because I need you to see that verse. Sometimes we make mistakes, but I need you to go over there. In Colossians 3 and verse 15, it says, let the peace of God rule in your where? Now, rule, that's Christ, God, ruling in your heart. Now, what are you going to let do? You're going to let people rule? Or Christ? You have a choice.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you let people rule, your peace ain't going to last very long.
Yes, sir.
Because they're going to be dangling you from one to the other. You got to please Susu, you got to please Day Day, you got to please Uncle JJ, you got to please Aunt Nene, you got all of them. You got to please them to make them happy, because you know if you don't, you're going to have conflict, right? Now, let me tell you something. As a child of God, I'd rather have conflict with you than have conflict with God. You need to think about what I just told you. I'd rather for you to be angry, upset with me, and you know, you don't stop speaking than to have the wrath of God on me. You got to make a choice. Who is your peace? Who rules when it comes to peace? It gives me calmness. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to tell you something. God can give you peace that nobody else can give you. Amen. And you have the calmness of your spirit. You will have. So that's why, you know, I'm going to tell you about most people. Most people that have the peace of God don't have a whole lot of friends. Amen. You didn't hear what I just told you. That just went in one ear, went out the other. And you didn't even hear what I just told you. I'm telling you what I know. Most people that have peace with God don't have a whole lot of friends. Whenever you tell me, you say, well, brother, people, I'm on Facebook, and you know, I got 3,000 likes. I got a whole lot of friends. I know that then. You don't know what you're doing. See, all them folks ain't your friends. Matter of fact, you find most of them ain't your friends. See? The more peace you have with God and let him rule, you ain't going to have a whole lot of friends. See, because you're going to put God over all relationships. When I say all, I mean all. That means your boo, too, if you got it. Amen? Some of you young folks, I know you call them your boo, or whatever you want to call them, or her. You got to put Christ over them. And we that are married, we got to do the same thing. You that have children, I know you got children. You know, it's a paradox. It's something that sometimes parents, it just boggles their mind. You got kids, and they come out of you, from you. And it just don't make sense that you can have kids that you know if you do what they want you to do, you're going to lose your peace. How many parents don't have no peace because they're trying to have peace with their kids? You hear what I just told you? Now let me tell you something. If my peace is going to cause me to lose my peace with Primus, and I'm trying to have it with you, them folks there have you so sick, blood pressure and everything. Do you not know trying to have peace with people, if you sick, they'll make you sicker? That is if they don't want to do right. Do you not know there are people that don't want to do right? All they want to do is use you. And they want to have it their way. If they have it their way, you're all together now. Everything is fine. But once things don't go their way, you got problems now. Get your priorities right. Make peace with God and don't worry about them other folks. If they don't want to do right, don't you worry about them. You love them, but don't you worry about them. Now I'm going to tell you something. I love all people, but a person that don't want to do what's right, I don't lose no sleep over them. And just like you, I have flesh and blood also. And I had to deal with them just like everybody else got to deal with. Your flesh and blood ain't no better than nobody else's. And your children ain't no better than nobody else. Amen, brothers and sisters. And your people that you deal with, you may say they're all right with you. Well, I hope they're all right with you. But I'm going to tell you right now, the closer you get to God, the more peace you have with God, the less people are going to want to be around you. Did you hear what I just told you? Now, watch this. The more peace you have with people, the further off you're going to be from God. And some people, that's all they think. This God is on the background. They want to make peace with people. It don't make no, and I'm going to tell you something, you young folks, you better be careful with this. Because just because you want people to like, see when you're young sometimes, you want people to like. You want people to approve of you, and you want them to pat you on the back, and you feel good about that. They will pat you to hell. That's what they'll do. And some of you all, watch this now. Jump where you are. Some of you all, you had a whole lot of friends when you were doing, so-called, when you were doing what they liked. Remember the good relationship y'all had? Doing wrong? You right there with them? And you know how all the stuff y'all talk about, the relationship y'all have, everything is going fine, y'all enjoying yourself.
Okay.
But you know what you find out? When you come into the church and you start having peace with God, and the closer you get to God, the more He rules. The Bible says, let the rule of God, let the peace of God rule in your heart. And the more God rules up here, the more you're going to find out that a lot of them people don't want to be with you no more. And you're going to find out that they were using you in the first place. That's all they were doing. But see, the blind leads blind. Both of them, when you're blind and can't see, you think all of them is all right with you. But I guarantee you this here, let the peace of God rule in your heart. You're going to find out that most people is not going to want to be around you. They ain't going to be your friend. And I believe the paradox with parents, it kind of bothers them. I know. Come out of me. Why can't we just get along? Why is it then this conflict is there? Because, let me tell you something. Just because somebody come out, it don't mean they got the same heart. The Saul is different from yours. Cain and Abel had the same mama, same daddy, ate at the same table. They were brought up the same way, but one was a murderer. And one was a child of the wicked one. The Bible says he was of the wicked one, which means Adam and Eve was raising a child of the devil and didn't know it. You mean to tell me one of my children can be a child of the devil? You think your children better than them first folks? You don't think none of y'all can be a child of the devil? Let me tell you something. If you got a child of the devil and you're trying to have peace with him, you're going to lose your peace with God. I'd rather have my peace with God and leave that. I pray for that child of the devil, but he ain't going to take my peace. He or she not going to take my peace. Now, it makes no difference who you are. You should be able to identify what we're talking about. I see your hand.
Yes, sir. Can it be not only your children, it can be
anybody. Anybody.
I know, so I kind of know what you're saying, but right now, I'm looking at the second one. I see,
right.
Yes, I see where the first one, that is who, it's in my house. You know,
Okay.
So right now, when I read a verse, I just do the second one and take it to God, because I know this person that the house, I'm not gonna then bring it up.
Okay.
They don't like me, but I understood, took them to the Lord and explained it to him one way, and he told me to deal with that situation. So I'm trying to do the second.
There it is. There it is. Because people, all people you're not going to have peace with. And some people you can be in a predicament where, suppose you're living with somebody and you ain't got no alternative. Well, if you living with a person that don't want no peace and they wicked or whatever, that's a bad circumstance, but the thing about it is, you still got to have Christ first. And I'm going to tell you something. Ask God to give you wisdom. He can give you wisdom to know how to deal with this thing. See, wisdom is something that God can give to you. See, I've been in some circumstances, I remember I explained to you, you can be on a job and think about the person that controls that job. Management, a supervisor can be wicked. You are working under them. You got to deal with them every day. Well, do you not know God is so wise he gives you wisdom to know how to deal with them? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I done dealt with a lot of that in my life. What I'm trying to show you is that you make God, you put him first in all your peace. And you don't have to worry about them folks that don't want no peace. You got to worry about them. And you don't have to compromise with them. Don't you compromise for their peace, because there are people in your life, the only thing they want to do is use you. And just because, people get kind of, I can just bother them. Just because they flesh and blood don't mean that they love you. Just because they flesh and blood don't mean that these people want peace with you. Now, I'm going to tell you something. You can have peace with most people you be around if you compromise and do what they want
Yes, sir.
like they want and let them use you, oh, you be the best uncle there's in there. I remember having these young babies I had with me, and my brother-in-law, and you know, they got this line, oh, Uncle Bernard, you the best uncle in the world. Well, you know what I'm talking about? And I'm listening to him. I said, okay, I'm going to see about them. And see, some of them young folks, they be trying to manipulate you. They trying to get you to do what they want you to do. Oh, can we go to McDonald's? Can we do this? Can we do that? I said, no, you ain't going to McDonald's. And they try to, ooh, you the best uncle in the world. After a while, they would be low enough. I ain't never heard that no more. Didn't hear that no more. Especially when I used to tell them, you know, when they first got there, they went to service that Sunday morning, and they thought everything was all right, and took their clothes off, and everything like that. I said, y'all know we're going to service this evening. We going again? We're going again. We're going again. We got to be there at 6 o'clock. And you know, they didn't like that because, you know, they ain't using it like that. And you know, I said, we're doing it every Sunday. We got to do that. And see, the thing about it is, they got used to it. What I'm trying to show you is, it ain't your job to try to be a friend when you are a parent. And one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Your job is to be what God put you in there for. Daddy, mama, parents, he didn't put you in there to be their friend. And sometimes you're trying to have peace with these kids. You want to make them feel all right. I ain't going to make them mad. I don't want them upset. I want them happy and all that kind of stuff. You can be happy or sad in my house. It don't make no difference. As long as you do what I tell you to do. Amen. If you do what I tell you to do, that's all right with me. If you're happy or sad, it doesn't matter. See, the thing about it is, we try to want them to be our friend. God didn't place no children in your life to be your friend. They don't need a friend, they need a pattern. Need somebody to tell them right from wrong. Amen. Discipline them when they need it. I don't know how I got there, but I'm here. Maybe somebody need to hear this. Amen, brother. So, see, that's the world we live in. We live in a world where folks trying to compromise and they want to be the friend. And my daddy, oh, he's the best daddy in the world. And all of this. And ain't no mama like my mama and all that kind of stuff. You won't be saying that around my house. See? You got to have discipline. Now, we talk about attitude. People. People. I love people. I'm keep putting these points up, but I need you to get it. Don't let nobody interrupt your peace with God. I say nobody. Make no difference who they are. Don't let them interrupt your peace with God, because that is very important. Now, let's go to Matthew. I want to go to Matthew. I want the 5th chapter. Drop down to verse 9. Drop down to verse 9. Now, it says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Now, the children, if they are children of God, that means they done made peace with God. See, sometimes you see the blessed are the peacemakers. You're not talking about making blessed are the peacemakers that make peace with these folks. Right. Blessed are the peacemakers that make peace with Christ, with God. Because let me tell you something. They shall be called the children of God. You can make peace with people and be children of the devil. I'm trying to let you see what your passage is reading. See, a lot of people have peace with a lot of people, but they're not children of God. Yes. But in order for you to make peace with God, you got to be a child of God. Yes. See? Now, since I'm a child of God, I done made peace with Christ. Don't you let nobody interfere with that. Yes. Nobody. Yeah. Now, this causes problems. Because humans They want to be liked. You know, a lot of people like to be liked. They want you to like them. They want you to accept them. They want you to, they don't like rejection. I remember when I told y'all I was a young boy, and you know how the young boys sometime back then, we liked the girl, but we didn't want rejection, and write the little note, I like you if you like me. I showed y'all that. Now, I liked her, but I didn't want rejection. So I said, I like you if you like me. And then if you get the note, and once they pass the note, you say, I like you too. Then you say, I like you too. Okay. Now, the thing is, you don't want rejection. From a little child, you like people to like you. We as humans, we want people to like us. Now, what I'm telling you, when you make peace with pride, put that out the door. Put it out the door. Because when God rules in your heart, most people are not going to be close to you. And most of them not going to even want to be close to you. Because they're going to know that something is different about you. You mingle with them, you laugh with them, but there's something different about you. Because you have a line as to far you will go. There are certain things they know you ain't going to get him to do that. Now y'all can try to get him to go to this thing. He ain't going. Because I done been around him and he'll laugh with you and jive with you, but he ain't going certain places. And see, that's the way it should be. It should be that way. Because I want the peace of God in my life. And I want God to rule in my heart. And brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. I don't want nobody to break it up, mess it up either. You got to have the mindset, if I got to live by myself, I will. But you're going to find out that most people are not your friend. Now, if you want to have peace with most people, they'll like you. When you compromise, lay down your guard and do what they want you to do, oh, you're all right. They pat you on the back. Everything all right. He's all right with me. They call it, do you know what? Oh, man, he's all right, man. Yeah, he's all right. You go around there and get just about it, and he's just as nice as can be. And the other person say the same thing. Other cousins say the same thing. Other uncles say the same thing. All of them say the same thing. You know what you're doing? You compromise. But there ain't no way in the world you're going to serve God and have peace with God and everybody be your friend. It just don't happen there. Amen, brothers and sisters. Amen. And you know what you're going to find out? That being a lot of times by yourself is a blessing. I would rather be by myself and have peace than around a whole lot of folk and there's hell on the highway. Amen. Some of y'all understand that. No. Amen. Yeah, Brother James, I'm getting ready to leave. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think I want to talk about the women right now. But I do understand what he's talking about. All right. My time is up. I wanted to let y'all know that we don't have anything out there. We have something, but it's not full to the capacity that we want. And I know one of the reasons because of the storm getting ready to come. People are shopping. We got something over there. You help yourself with all the sweets and stuff that you want over there. Just help yourself with that. And you you won't have no problems at all. Now, we're thankful to God for everyone that have come. And we hope that what we have talked about have helped somebody. Now, see, we haven't even finished this piece yet. There are some things I'm going to write up here, and I want you to see they are very talented. And there are things that I believe they're going to help us all because we're dealing with peace, and this is an everyday matter. You got to deal with this. And you have to make your choice as to how you're going to deal with it. But I hope your choice is according to the will of God. And we're gonna stop there now. Are there any announcements anybody have? They want to let us know. Yes, Sister Sandy. That's Sister Sandy.
It's me.
Mary, you favorite Sister Sandy?
Yeah, is that your sister? Yeah. That one you've been putting up with before. Anyway, I'm asking prayers for Sister Moore. She's going to other congregations. I'm asking for prayers for Sister Roland Moore. She's going to different congregations, but she said she likes it here. And tonight she's keeping her grandkids, so she said, please pray for her. Also, Sister Marley, she's been sick. She said, she told me she's been sick. I told her there was a lot of other people with that bug or whatever. And I'm asking prayers for Miss Brenda White and her family. And Sister Elizabeth Ricks, she said that she wouldn't be coming out tonight, but Lord's will, she hopes to see us Sunday. And I'm asking prayers for my health. There's been some changes in my health, so I'm asking you all, thanking you for your prayers and asking you for your continued prayers on my behalf.
Amen. Yes, sir.
Yes, I want to thank the church for praying for me. All my examinations were came out in my favor, and I want to thank the church for praying for me, but also I want to ask the church to pray for one of my first cousins who passed away, and they plan on having a funeral, but they still need to consider the storm coming through. So, and same thing with me and my wife. We want to go on vacation. We'll probably leave out Friday if the weather permits us to. So y'all can just make the right decision.
Yes, sir.
What I want to say, I don't want your sisters to be wrong with prayer. Mighty good, might be in a good favor, because in the New Testament, when his widows went to this king or whatever he was, and started bothering him about an issue, and she kept nagging him, so she moved to way up to whatever. So it turned out to be a good thing,
I'd just like to thank the church for praying for me and Lee.
Amen. My cousin, I don't know if I said it Sunday, but she is out of the hospital. She's doing better. I just like to thank everybody for their prayers.
Amen. Amen. All right. If there's no one else, we're going to stand. And we have prayer by Brother Clayton and a song by Brother Joe. All right? Sure.